All right, now we're about to give you all something. We're going to give you a treat. We got a young man here, and he's in my virtual lobby, but I'm not going to keep him there. I'm going to let him loose. And the young man, look at that, got a shave, and do you even shave yet? Let me stop. He is a candidate for mayor in the city of Portsmouth, Virginia. Welcome, Harold Crouthers. How are you,
Hey,
sir?
how you doing? I'm all right. How you doing
All right.
today, sir?
All right. So tell us about you. Just
Well, I'm 39 years old. I grew up here
young
in
man.
Portsmouth. I was
Hmm.
born here. I was raised here in Portsmouth. I grew up Cavalier Manor area, downtown Parkview area. Um, I graduated. I have a degree in associate's degree in applied science for computer electronic engineering.
Okay.
Um, um, I do cars. I fly airplanes and jets. I work on cars, of course. I'm just an all around guy. I own the car dealership in the area. Um, I'm just a normal Portsmouth guy, man. Nothing too
Okay.
special.
Okay.
Just average, man.
Just a regular guy.
Yes, sir, man. Just a regular guy, man.
Okay. All right. All right. Just a brother.
Yes, sir. Just another brother around here.
Alright. Alright. Since you took it there, alright. But 39, young man, young man, young man. Now, why do you want to be mayor?
I mean, it ain't necessarily something that I want to do. It's something that got to be done. If you, of course, you in the city of Portsmouth, if you're looking at the city of Portsmouth, you pretty much can see
Mhm.
that the leadership here is poor. These people here
Okay.
don't care nothing. And since we're on a gospel show, I got my Bible right here. I'm gonna take it to a
Okay.
scripture. We're gonna go to Isaiah
Go ahead.
9:16.
Go ahead.
Isaiah 9:16 states, "For the leaders of these people cause them to err, and that they are led of them are destroyed." See, that's one thing that kind of bothers my heart. See, it's the leaders that's calling our generation to fail, and they don't look at it. They so selfish. They don't care about each other. They taking their personal issues and they putting it for the world to see, damaging the reputations of the people in Portsmouth. I was in Montana and Utah a little while ago doing some work, and I was around the guys, and I had got myself up to a very respectable level. And it hit me. One
Hmm.
guy asked me, "Said, are you from Virginia?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You look on TV." And I looked on TV and I seen what Churchland High School had that grown teacher went and played the game. Pretty much, that
Right.
was something that was supposed to be done. That was something that was quite disrespectful of the city. And remember June 10th, 2020?
Yeah.
That was the statue incident. What a lot of people don't know is that right there took the morale. If you notice that it took the morale based off of that happening, it pretty much really hurt the city of Portsmouth. And since then, nobody's done nothing to, speak on it, to at least try to amend, what I'm saying, the pain and the hurt that's going on in the city. And it's making it worse. It's to the point now that we have the worst school system in the state. We had 119 out of 130 school systems, I think it is.
Hmm.
Um, our kids, they pretty much being set up for failure. And I went and I go around and I like to test kids on their knowledge. And I tested a few of my friends' kids, that was in pretty much going to the 5th grade, the 6th grade, and the 4th grade. And I noticed that all of them was 4 years behind. And when you go and you try to get something done about it, they're so busy trying to pretty much put a band-aid over a bullet wound that it's destroying the city. And if nobody's going to speak up for it, then it's time for them to go. They completely failed the city.
Okay.
And
So what is your
somebody
so
got,
what is your plan?
my plan is to rebuild the love back in the city. First off, people, they gotta be able to come to the city, and they need protection. If you look at the police force, if you looked at the city council meeting, you see the
Hmm.
firefighters, they not happy. They've
Hmm.
been fighting just for normal things like mental health protection,
Right.
insurance for mental health. The police, they going through the same thing. The city workers, remember we lost 4 city managers. So as a person going through these things, they don't feel comfortable working here. So
Hmm.
being that you got all these new people and nobody comfortable working, there's no relationship being born. So the first thing you got to do is you got to get a relationship started back in the city. You got to make these people feel comfortable, like that they're important. You got to make them feel respected in their job. Like when I was at the city council meeting the other day, it made me mad because you hear racism on the city council meeting. You know, people scared to speak up about it, but I work for one man, and that's the man upstairs. I don't respect the person. I respect the man upstairs. When you're doing wrong, I'm gonna speak on it. And like in that meeting, you seen pretty much nobody cared. Nobody speaks up about the real issues that's going on in the city, and they so busy trying to focus on new developments and bringing new things here that the city is completely falling apart. They're not taking care of just like the city buildings, like they're not cleaning the city buildings, pressure washing the buildings, and they're not providing protection. So see, people like I had a contract where I worked with a lot of people, $500 million and up. So I know how billionaires think. I know how investors think. The first thing they do when they come to your city is they look at education. That's number one. Number two, they look at security. Because this they money you're talking about, and these are their kids. They're the most two important thing.
Right.
When you can't give them that security in those two things, you completely failed them. So therefore, my first thing I want to do is to let these police officers know that, like, first off, be transparent with them, let them know what's going on, and give them their discretion back. You know, let them know that the city gonna be behind them. The city will never leave you to dry like they left Chief Angela Green. Now, we have mixed opinions. A lot of people have mixed opinions about these issues, but the truth is that Angela Green worked for the city of Portsmouth. You know, and regardless on what the council may have felt or what anybody may have felt, it's a process to get these statues and things like this removed. So when she seen that this was being violated, she did what was best for the city of Portsmouth. Case in point, that when they told her to stand down, a statue fell, and this man to this day is injured. His whole life is completely destroyed. So therefore, they left her to dry. They fired her, and they fired the city manager after that. They were just doing a bunch of things that made people feel uncomfortable and did not feel as though that the city supports them and is going to be behind their back. So I want to give them that back. You know, I want them to let them know that, okay, you know, we apologize for these situations. You know, we apologize. You know, things went wrong. You got to address these situations. You can't run from them.
Right.
And, you know, first thing to solving a problem is to admit that it is a problem. If you don't admit that it's a problem, how can you work towards solving the problem? And you have to stand up. And sometimes your own personal interests may conflict with the best interests of the people. And these things is that's need to be stood up for the people, because you got to understand that job is behind the people. And ever since then, you have a destruction of the community because nobody feel like nobody is standing behind them. They're taking up for their personal interests versus doing what's best for the community. And that alone destroyed the community and it's continued to do harm to this very day.
Well, I talked to Pastor Whitaker last night, and we were talking about transparency. Do you see any of that?
Oh man, I don't even want to talk about Dr. Whitaker because he need to read Jeremiah 23 and just work his way on down from there. That's what he need to do. But I don't like the racism that he talk about, because if he's a pastor, he got to understand the Lord say he so loved the world. You know, we started with Noah. These are Noah kids that you're talking about. So we all come from the same blood. So to be disrespectful to the other fellow citizens, I ain't with that. I ain't with that. So he don't get no respect from me in my book until he go and sit his hind parts down and open that Bible, because he is disrespecting the Lord's kids. I don't know if he realized, I forget where it was at when Jesus got on them, when the Lord had got on them for talking about marrying a different race. You know, he need to get in his Bible and as he called himself an apostle or a deacon and these things, he need to go back home. He need to sit back down. So oh man, I love to talk to him one-on-one. I surely would. I would love to talk to him, because that's another thing. He is one of the main causes with this enforcement, because instead of him trying to unite the community, he pushing it further apart. You understand what I'm saying? One thing Black people always fought for in this city and state was equality. You know, equality. We never wanted to be over nobody. We never wanted to feel as though we was better than nobody. We fought for equality. And, you know, it's a way to get equality with being respectful to people. So, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing that he don't do. You know what I mean? And then I don't even want to get on him, but yeah. But yeah.
So are you basically saying you would like to have a dialogue with him?
Who? Oh, I love to talk to him. I love to talk to him. Actually, he need to, for real, he just ain't. The best thing I can say to him is Acts 2:38. He need to go repent and talk to the man upstairs. That's what he need to do, because he knows.
I will let him know.
Well,
I'll
he
let
know
him
what
know.
he's doing is wrong. Yeah, I love to talk to him. Tell him I talk to any one of them. I ain't got no
Right.
problem with me.
Is there anybody that's running or in that you support at all?
Um, I'm behind the people. You got to understand this.
Okay.
I love and respect all of them. It's the deeds I don't respect, and I'm not the person that's gonna sit there and be quiet on it. I
Mm-hmm.
respect all of them. Don't get me wrong. I do respect all of them, and I support. I support. I support the city. So like the ones that stand up and that's doing what they supposed to do for the city, I'm 100% behind them, because they're like I said, the intentions is good. But let's get back to that scripture. Say evil communication corrupts good manners.
Mm-hmm.
So as
How
long as
how can somebody support you?
how can somebody support me?
Yeah. Well, how can how can they support you? How can they maybe devote their time or devote money to your campaign? How can they do that?
I mean, I to support me, share my page, share my posts, go to the city council meetings because they don't know, but I'm about to step it up. I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna show them what's supposed to be done. And like I said, I got a cash app. Is $ boom boom 757. I have a PayPal account that's rather unique 327 at
Mm-hmm.
gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
They can support like that. But most important, I say, just share the message. Cause for real, I'm not doing this for me. To be honest, I was living great. I'm doing this for us. Sometimes you got to step up and do what's best. So the best thing we could do is support each other and, talk to each other, get more open and do your research because what I'm
Right.
doing is not just for me, it's for the community and for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you really want to support me, do what's best for your kids. You got to put like a lot of people out here friendships. Like you gotta pick your kids over the friendships. So to support me, the messages I'm sharing, spread them. Don't be scared to comment. Reach out. If you need help, I'm here. I'm here to support the community. It sounds funny, but I look at a lot of their donations, and this community need a lot of help. I can't see myself taking too much from the community. You get paid. I believe I get paid after this. IDs, the New Jerusalem, baby. We get judged on
Mm-hmm.
IDs, and this is how I pay back. Anybody that know me know I done made a lot of money. I done flew helicopters, planes, jets. I done
Mm-hmm.
drove Lamborghinis. I done lived a great life.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Montana, Yellowstone, and places where people lifetime could never afford to go. So I don't need that type. If you want to support me, share the message. Turn people on to my like I said to my pages. Go look at me and do your research on these candidates.
I hear
Ask the
you.
important questions. That's how you can support me because I'm behind you 100%. Ask the important questions. If it's something you having an issue with, call me, contact me because I'm about to get on the school board because I've been calling them all week. So I'm here to get things done. I'm not none of them. I'm not none of them. I'm none of them. So if you want to support
What
me,
is your
support
issue with the
yourself.
school board?
Huh?
What's your issue with the school board? What's going on? What's your issue with the school board?
The school system is 118 out of 131. They take more of their time planning dances than they do focusing on these kids. Our kids are
Mm-hmm.
4 years behind. This school that
Okay.
they run there praising IC Norcom is 316 out of 326. Now let's get the understanding of this. The average child spends 12 years in school. So if this school board completely failed our kids for 4 years, that's 33% of their life, that education system that they could never get back, that they completely lost. And instead of the school board trying to engage with the parents, you understand what I mean? To
Mm-hmm.
be effective leader, you have to engage in the parents. Have you seen the steps as far as the teachers? You have to engage with the teachers. They leaving these bad kids to disrupt the learning process in these schools, and it's not helping none of the kids. They need to do
Mm-hmm.
something about this. They can't sit
Yeah.
back and act like everything okay. When the teachers got money issues, giving them $40 to go to a rap concert, it's not cute. That's quite disrespectful to them. And
Right.
see, I wanted to talk the other day, but they got these closed sessions. But yeah, I called Dr. Cardell Patillo. This guy is
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be Virginia State, the head of the Virginia School Board Association, but Portsmouth is at the lowest. Come on now, where's your time at? He specifically, him and Miss Shoemaker made a video stating that we're gonna read to the kids at the library, that we're gonna do this program at the library. Now, me, Harold Carruthers, wanted to do a Scrabble tournament at the library, but the AC didn't work. So
Mm-hmm.
this is my question. Let's talk about the foods. They talking about bringing a chef in the school. bringing a chef into school? Are you serious? So you want to add more money on top of this instead of like, for real, we need to get an agriculture program going where the kids can learn how to make and develop their own food.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Take the food from there and like it's real life chef. Why would you disrespect everybody that's been cooking for these kids for all these years and try to bring in something to chef to make yourself look good instead of getting them better quality food? You know, it's these things that are important to these kids. Why not give these teachers, why not sit down with these teachers? And you want to talk about transparency? Have transparency with these teachers. I sat down and I talked to my son and he told me that the only thing them teachers care about in that school is that you come there. And I understand because I know accreditation is based on how many students come, on how many they graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the end of the day, they're going to allow these students to disrupt the education permanent. This is permanent for these kids instead of doing something with it. I got a problem with that. Yes, I have a problem with that. I had a panic disorder, you know what I mean? So I understand this. And a lot of kids going through these crises, due to the lack of protection in our community. Like, you know, the young boy, Keontre Thornhill, he got killed in Craddock. So these issues in the community is causing mental stress on these kids. So they need to focus on this and make programs to make sure that these kids are taken care of, because some of these kids are coming in with anxiety issues or maybe panic issues, and the teacher are completely looking at them the wrong way and they're being bullied and nobody's speaking up about it. You can go on Facebook right now, go on the Voices of Portsmouth pages, go on everything Portsmouth, go on these pages and look at how many kids are being bullied. You know, and when you go to reach out to them, and it's one thing to say, well, they didn't try, but when I try myself and I can't get a response, I know that they're going through the same thing.
Right. When you say you see racism, where are you talking about? Are you talking about the council when you say you see racism?
Yes, sir.
Explain that.
Do you know what racism is?
Oh, I know, but I'm saying, well, what are you seeing from who, or what are you seeing when you look at it? You know, I mean, what are you seeing and from whom?
Oh, that Dr. Whitaker. It's complete racism. You know, some of these things, first off, his job is to fight for the community, not a particular person. Like I told him the other day, he sit around and down these white cops. You know, it's a lot of white cops and it's a lot of white firefighters and paramedics. Now, me personally, I'd have been sick. You ever been sick and you seen who came to pick you up? Understand, it's not always a black man. So the opportunity should be fair. You understand what I mean? The opportunity should be fair. They should get a chance to invest and to grow in this community just as well as anybody else black. Because if you want to be for real, let's talk about Miss Ada Barbara Wells. This is a black woman. This was 1800. You know, Ada Barbara was named after her. So what that tell you? Black people been active in the community, and it always been beautiful in the community for her to get a whole park named after her. Back in the early 1900s, you have to think about the seriousness in this. It's a time to battle and it's a time to unite. This ain't the time to battle and to completely disrespect these white officers when, truth be told, let's be honest, it's the black kids out here that got the issues in the community. Why? Because you're allowing at this Intello's Pavilion people like rappers like Sexy Red and rappers like Lil Durk and King Von to come here and perform and influence the generation in a more negative aspect. So that's gonna cause these kids to go out here and respond like that. So therefore, you can't keep disrespecting the people standing behind you and expect them to show love and respect to the black kids in this community. See, that is racism. That is racism to say, I got to make sure. The other day, they were just talking about approving a project. It had nothing to do with the grants. It got to make sure the MVDPP got to do all this. First off, this ain't the time for that, sir. This is not the time for that. You understand? And it's another thing. He make it as though if it's not enough minorities to grab say it's not enough minorities, or they just don't want the contract. Then Portsmouth gonna do it out. That's not fair. That's not fair to the white kids that grow up and eat off the same soil that the food grew up in around here, or drink the same water that's coming through that nasty water system that they got around here that they could care to treat. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, that is racism, because let's be honest, they spend just as much money as we do. They deserve just amount of respect as we do. And for him to get his hind parts up there in front of the Lord's people, that's what he failed to realize, the Lord's people, and to down another group of the Lord's people, that's called racism and disrespect. It's blasphemy in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Okay, let's say you're both on the council. What would you do to work with him?
Just make sure, first off, it's like this. I don't know the name of the grant that he talking about for black people. One thing, if he got that in a contract, that's in the contract. You don't have to throw it in people's face. You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
tones like that, you chill with the disrespect on that. Example: the other day when I was at the council meeting, this Caucasian male, he was right here. He was talking firefighter, ex-firefighter, just talking about cost of living adjustment raises. This is real, on a retirement. This man clearly said out his mouth, y'all, you should have picked the right program, this, that, and the third. He did it because he was a black. He did it because he was a white guy, regardless on what they say. He talked to him like this, saying, all right, I need to watch and make sure y'all don't get this amount because you may be getting more. You just didn't say that about the contracts.
Right.
You just didn't say that about the contracts. Also, did you say that when it was time to vote yourself a raise? You and the council a raise? You didn't say that when you took it from the people to give y'all self a 96% increase. You understand? So in other words, like he said, and I'm gonna quote him. He stated, you need him and DeAndre Barnes to keep Lisa in check. See, you need me to keep him in check. Because just the same way he gonna talk, I'm gonna straighten it.
Okay.
See, I don't mind having those conversations behind closed doors to make sure we got an understanding about these things before it come out. Because at the end of the day, doing best for the citizens of Portsmouth is doing best for the blacks and the whites.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Something I didn't cover, you want to bring out? What's on your mind? What's on your heart?
Man, I love the people, man.
Out with it. Out with it.
Man, I love the people, man. I'm gonna be honest, man. I spent some time in Utah, and I got to drive around, and I got to see how they live in and how the community, how it's loved there. How they support each other, and how the city's behind them. Like it's a place called Spanish Fork for the Spanish there. I was less than 1% blacks, but I didn't have those issues. They treated me with mad love and respect. And when I come here, I see the complete opposite. And it's not because the people don't get it's not because the people not here, because they told me I was one of the, sweetest people that they ever met. It was because that they not giving our kids the opportunity, to be seen in the right way. Right. And I feel like they had their time, man. They is, the personal issues is destroying our city, man, and we got kids. Like, I done had my time to enjoy my life. I'm 39. It ain't been that much long, but I got to do a bunch, and I want to see the kids be able to do the same thing. Our future is going directly in the trash. I mean, nobody care about the education. They don't care about, like, they don't even let the kids dress up with whole suits and with the shoes. They got sneakers. So they're not teaching the kids the bare basics and, just the standard of living in life. Like right. These kids, they can't grow no food. They don't know how to grow food. They don't know how to pick this plant out there and know if this is good. They don't know how to hunt. They don't know how to gather. They don't know how to build. They pointing them straight to either you do music or go to sports and kids. And then they're telling these kids that they're not good enough. You know what I'm saying? And that's what hurt me a lot. Like these kids, I want these kids to know that they're good enough. Like, you don't have to look this way or act that way or hang with these right. people to be who you are. And what they're doing, they're taking away the struggles. And if you know anything about life, you will never get nowhere if you don't struggle. That is how you find and you develop your true character out here. And they're using the money, these fake nonprofit organizations, they taking advantage of it because the city seemed to be in poverty, not knowing that the truth is the city not in poverty. They just portraying it that way so they can take the grant, get the grant money. And it's affecting the kids. It's one thing if they were doing it was affecting just them, but it's affecting the kids. Like these right. kids, if you ask them what they want to be in life growing up, I'm an 85, baby. I wanted to be work for the police. I wanted to be an FBI agent. Like these are the firefighters. These was great jobs. They're taking their own personal agendas and using the kids to destroy the kids' life. Example, case in point. Did you see when the NCAA told the college students at VCU to interrupt Youngkin's sermon and walk out? Now, let's be honest. That is disrespect to authority.
Yes,
right?
Is. Yes.
You're teaching a child to disrespect authority. That man is the governor. It don't matter what you felt or how you may felt. He is the governor. You don't teach a child on the most important day of their moment. They graduate in college to disrespect authority. And my question is, what is wrong with y'all? Why is y'all doing that? These are things you have to get on top. Now, as you do the research, I looked and tried to understand why the Commonwealth attorney wasn't pressing charges. And then I noticed that the Commonwealth attorney took money when the city was sued in 2020 for the same incident. So their goal is not to look out for the city, it's continuously to take from the city. Why would the Commonwealth attorney, now me personally, the city done did things to me, but if I sue the
Mhm.
city, it's not going to hurt that person, it's going to hurt us. You understand?
Right. Right.
So I could show them a lesson differently, then completely suing them, walking his door, and then filing for something as though like I care for these people. You know, you're taking from the people. You're the part of the reason. And these are issues that these people are actually, like the scriptures say, false prophets. They faking to us. They faking to us, and people need to open their eyes. And I want to get the people that want a chance to chance. Because see, what they fail to realize is, yes, I follow Acts 2:38, but I also know what Acts 2:40 states. You know, Peter
Mhm.
says, save yourself. You know what I'm saying? Which of course I'm gonna save myself. I don't have no problem saving myself, but that don't mean I don't have to, talk to the people and
Right.
be there for the people and give the people a chance. This is part of my deeds. I'm doing the greatness for the man upstairs. I done did it all, and I came from the same background that these people, these kids that they state that they not good enough for their own life came from. You know,
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
greatest thing that a child can see in a time like this is that, you went through a lot in your life, young man. Yes, your mama died, your father died, your family is holding secrets. You couldn't get to the best schools. You couldn't get much, but you know what? The Lord got faith in you, brother. This is
Mhm.
your life. This is your
Mhm.
story. You
Mhm.
still get to write your story, regardless on anything. The end of
Yeah.
your story is never end until you tell us the end, and it can change at any given point. And I
That's
want
right.
these kids, when they look at me, they can see this and say, man, like, I feel great now. I see people say, boy, you know what, you standing up. Yes, I'm standing up for you, young brother. Yes, if you need help, you can call me. I'm being that for them. Look, Coach Carter stated, he said, it's not our light that most frightens us. He said, no, he said, it's not the darkness that most frightens us. It's our light. He said, you playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. He said, we were all meant to shine as children do. It's not in some of us, it's in everyone. He said, and as you let your own light shine, you
Mhm.
unconsciously give people permission to do the same because you are liberated by your own fears. Your presence liberate others. So in other words, sometimes you got to go against that thing that you so scared of. And I want people to not be afraid to go against that thing. You know what I'm saying? In the shine,
Mhm.
regardless on what somebody look at them like, I ain't got the best haircut, my thing ain't trimmed up. I don't feel like that's the most important thing in this world. What I feel
Mhm.
like the most important thing in this world is the love, to show others love, to show respect. And while I let my light shine, I hope I
Right.
unconsciously give people permission to do the same. And that's just
Right.
what I want these kids to shoot for their greatness. I want these parents to stand up for the greatness. Don't be afraid of nothing. To love, believe in yourself, and to get in the books. Don't listen to what nobody say. Do your own research. Let your kids see that you care about them. Invest in your own self. No, just because somebody not seeing you, that don't mean nobody's not looking. The
Right.
greatest gift of a person, you judge a person not what they do when you're looking at them, you judge them by what they do when you can't see them. The real person on who they are.
Mhm. So, Mayor, day one, what do you get rid of?
Hmm? Hey,
Your mayor, day one, what do you get rid of?
I get rid of two of the main problems in the city of Portsmouth.
Which
That's the
are?
two head leaders that sat around and watched this happen for the past 8 years. Well,
Okay.
6 and 8 years. That's number one. Number two, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna talk. I wanna sit down and talk with the school board. I wanna sit down and I want everybody to get I want it to be I want everybody to be on the same hymn.
Mm-hmm.
I want us all to work accordingly. I want open communications for all us and I want to get on the problem, not trying to hide the problem or try to, what I'm saying, get around the problem. Let's get on the problem. Let's do these things. Like one of the things I think should be completely done is like, I feel like these cameras is hurting the people. You know,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
them cameras is hurting the people. And the truth is criminals ain't got license plates on their cars. And then the cameras around here, they're not even helping with the crime. You see how many kids come up missing? Well, we got 1,000,000 cameras that's only getting the good people that's going on, that may be late going to work or dropping their child off back and forth to school. You know, I think that is wrong. It's hurting the people, and that money shouldn't be spent. If you look at you can look in California, you can look in Washington State, you can look in a lot of different places where they had cameras and they had to take them away because they seen that it was just a over cost, and the people that they was bringing down versus the camera wasn't helping. So I think that's one thing that we need to get away to you know what I'm saying, save on. Let's get some more experienced police officers. I also want to get in the community, because the best way to help with the crime in the community is to have somebody that you can delegate in the community that can help you with the crime in the community. I know a lot of guys that don't have a problem, but I could talk to and say, look, man, let's get this thing right. You know, if you got an issue where it come out where it's too much for you, then you call us. We're gonna directly get on it. We're gonna respect you, and if possible, instead of giving all this money to these nonprofit organizations, let's put it back in our own community. And you can tell the ones that's doing right, because I know a lot of people around here that can actually stop the crime. You know, they just don't feel like their power is complete. They're completely powerless. I mean, the worstest thing in the world is you say, all right, look, he turned this person in. Then they go to court, and then the commonwealth attorney don't even back them up. You know what I mean? And then that person back out on the street.
How would you change that? People feeling that they're powerless. How would you change that?
First thing I do is walk in there, let that city manager know. First thing, he got to be updated, because they ain't told him the truth on life. He don't know nothing about Portsmouth. I can look in his eyes on certain things. Like example, we were just at the meeting, the city council meeting, and the girl was talking about opening up. It was a place for kids over there at the right over there off of George Washington Highway, beside Ollie's and the Dollar General. And what they was doing pretty much was disrespecting him. Now, some could say he wasn't disrespecting him. Now I'm gonna show you how they disrespecting him. His team denied, the planning commission did deny her. Now, instead of them backing him up completely, they made him put him under the driveway. He like, look, this is what they did. Now, what they could have easily said, I wanted to stand up, but I didn't want to throw my mind off frame, which first off, that was a bad spot. The place in the back was an emergency route for emergency trucks to go in and out, and it wasn't a good spot for kids to be in. And regardless, a lot of people won't know, because it was pretty much an emergency route that supplied Dollar General, Ollie's, and what she didn't know was that it was a nightclub beside that also, which made it not a great place, because he has parties anywhere in between 10 in the morning to 2 at night. So that's not a good place for kids to be around, because it was some couple of shootings there within the past 6 months. So that's not a good place for kids to be at. And before, it was used as a warehouse storage area. That's why it was leased to them people, because it wasn't like they would have property going in there. It was pretty much somewhere a truck would back up to it. They would get the stuff that they had storage, and it was commercial. It was not for, you know, a child place. And instead of them going about it like that, they, you know, let me get back. Which that was a great call by the city manager and his squad. So therefore, when a person called your authority, and DeAndre kept saying, well, what was it doing that for? Well, it was this before. Why it couldn't be this? You know, I want to open up to, like, instead of disrespecting him, I would have carried is like, I would have told him what I just told you. You know, it's a bad spot because it's a nightclub there and it's not very safe. And, you know, we apologize, because true, you know, a lot of these owners of these properties, they just trying to get them leased out, so they'll tell you anything, which he knew that it wasn't zoned for that. You know what I'm saying? I apologize, he got you in there, but we could go to the planning commission and hopefully can find you an area, a spot in the area that's available, you know, hopefully for the same way, you know, and hopefully you can still do your business, because we don't want to stop your business. You see, it's a way to do things, and to completely challenge the city manager when he's doing a great job. And I'm telling you this, I ain't one thing about you learn about me. I ain't, like I said, I ain't with that. I'm about the people and doing what you're supposed to do. He's doing a great job. You know, if we speak on something, he get it done. Like I was speaking about cutting these debris and all this, then and third. I went over there, I'm gonna make a video for him. And yes, they took care of that, which is completely respectful. So I respect him on that. But certain things you have to let him know, look, you comfortable, you're doing your job. You got to think about he coming in under pressure, knowing 4 people was just fired from his same position. So he's, you know, iffy. And I want to let him feel comfortable and let us know, like, you're not going to have an issue as long as you do your job, you protect it. And I want to go sit down with the police chief, because I look in Chief Jenkins' eyes and let him know, you know, the same thing. Let's get a force together. Let's sit down and let's talk. You know, we have to talk. We have to get these streets contained. We have to get them under control. What is it that you need? We're going to take care of this now. You know, like I said, you know, just it's pretty much their job is the CEO of the city to make sure that everybody feel comfortable in doing their job and to know that you have their back 100%. And that's what I want to ensure them people. I know that y'all did not get this job because somebody say, whoever catch this ball, you get the job. No, you got the job because you was qualified. You knew what you was doing. And you know, you should get the respect of, you know, the job that you're getting. And I want those people to be able to do their jobs. And the ones that's not doing their job, because it's a couple that show favorites, you know, if they don't step up and do their job and their supervisors don't do their job, then of course we're going to change. We're going to have to change in leadership. Because example, waste management. I don't like what's going on in waste management. Truth be,
Go ahead, explain that. What's
we
going
got
on with
pickup trucks. We got pickup trucks. I mean, pickup trucks with dumpsters on the back, and they riding around picking up single cans. And they have these big trucks parked all at the city property because they don't want to pay the people to drive these equipment. And being that they don't want to pay the people to drive this equipment, they have to lease out a lot of these vehicles. See, a lot of the city has a lot of money. They just doing it because they don't want to sit and deal with it. Example, the guys that's excuse me, Lord, pothole patching, the guys fixing the potholes in the streets. Since the truck out there is 8217, I think it is, the truck number. It's a pothole patching truck, and I started on that truck back in 2003. You know, it's a great truck. It helps the guys, you know, being able to deliver potholes and do the potholes efficiently. It has a lot of equipment on the truck. And these guys actually put that truck aside, which cost the city a lot of money back in the day, which it was a great truck, and got these guys manually doing the shovel that we was doing back in the 1900s, you know, like in the late 90s. No, because somebody came from another city and said, well, this is how they were doing, so we're going to do that and waste the money to buy equipments versus it's a guy on the pothole patching crew, the greatest ever been out here, ever touched the city of Portsmouth up there. You should respect his judgment, you know, and you ask him about things like this, you know, just like cutting the grass. I watch these guys cutting grass. They wouldn't invest in a longer tractor to make it so that they can get more done per day, but they got these guys riding around on 42-inch zero turns, cutting fields as big as the old Hunt map, you know, in Cavalier Manor, which is senseless. And Waters right there, and also Lakeview Elementary School, when, you know, you can invest in a tractor that can cut pretty much all of them in the same day. You know, it's money getting spent in wrong and bad places, and it's wasted. That's a problem.
Right. Last question. Who would you bring in to help you accomplish these things? Do you have people in mind?
I don't know. Like I said, I believe that these people got their job because they was good at their job. I'm willing to work with any and everybody. I'm a person that, you know, don't look at me and say, oh, he's this, he's that. First, I'm for what's right. So if you wrong, you ain't gonna like me anyway. I ain't gonna respect you on being wrong and hurting these people. I don't care what you do, and it ain't an amount of money that you can give me to change that. See, the people of Portsmouth is first, and it's gonna always be first. So as long as what you doing, you're keeping the people in Portsmouth at the best interest, you'll never have a problem with me, and I support you 100%. But when you have a problem and you do anything other than that, then we will have a problem.
Okay. All right. Oh, what church are you affiliated with?
Huh?
What church are you affiliated with?
First Church of Our Lord Jesus with Pastor Gino Jennings. Yes, sir. Gino Jennings. Yes, sir.
Gino, okay. Okay. All right.
See, I know the church is two people or more worshiping, you know. So, you know, I love to worship all the time. You know, I do what I can do, and I love my boy Gino because he keep me focused. You know, he's strict on these things. You know, being in sin, we born in sin, so no matter what, it's gonna burn you every day. But you know, when you got somebody that you can look forward to, that's somebody that's walking in faith with you. You know, you ain't by yourself. It's a little easier to do. You know.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. Oh, I'm telling you now, you're coming back next month.
Hey, it ain't no problem.
I like the fact that you just let it out. You ain't trying to look pretty. You're not trying to say the right thing. You just saying how you feel, where your heart is, where your mind is. You know what I'm saying? Just
yes,
like
sir.
Gino.
Yes, sir. Hey, it ain't gonna never change, you know.
It's all right. All right, but before you go, how can somebody contact you?
757-537-3087. Or, you know, on my Facebook, Harold Crouthers III, Instagram, Harold for Mayor. And like I said, email Harold for Portsmouth City Mayor at yahoo.com. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. You did good. And like I said, we're gonna get with you the next few days for October because that'll take it real close.
Oh yes,
So
sir. And it's gonna be a lot of work done between here and October that I'm sure you're gonna want to talk about because we're gonna get some changes
yeah,
between here and
yeah.
October. I guarantee you that.
Okay. I'm just saying I want and and right now, like I said, you on 4 platforms, so
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
and you on my gospel radio station, so you gotta act right.
Yes, sir. Oh, always, sir.
I know that.
I greatly
I
appreciate.
like that. Huh?
I greatly appreciate you, man, and I thank you for
Oh
inviting me to
yeah,
this show
yeah,
to have
yeah.
this interview, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right then. So if you need to something come up real quicker though, and you need to come on, just let me know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, we work with you. Well, this is everybody though. I mean, not just you, everybody.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I'm saying? I had Whitaker on last night, have you on today, gonna have some other folk on next week. So we'll let everybody have a voice and then let the people decide.
Yes, sir. That's the
But
best
I'll
way.
say this: I really like the way you articulate the point of the young people and the kids, and because I feel that the enemy is really targeting the kids because it knows that it's the future, and it's trying to get as many folk in there because misery likes company, and the enemy
Yep.
will be miserable one day
Yes, sir.
in that
Yes, sir.
lake. We don't want to go there, right? I'm just saying. He trying to put as many as he can in there. See,
Yes,
so
sir.
don't get me started. I had a good service. I had to play today, so but I had a good service. But all
Ain't
right,
nothing
my
wrong with it.
man.
All
No,
righty,
yeah,
well, sir.
no. Love the Lord. He heard my cry and pitied it. Anyway, don't get me started. Take it easy. I'll be
Yeah.
talking. I'll be emailing you and everything. Okay.
All righty, sir.